The planet is sending us a message, not in whispers, but in wildfires, floods, record-breaking heat waves, and disappearing coastlines. The question is no longer whether climate change is happening. The question is, what are we going to do about it? This is not a story about distant futures or abstract science. This is about the world we live in today, and whether we will hand a livable planet to the generation that comes after us. The year 2024 made history, and not in a good way. For the first time in 175 years of recorded weather data, a single calendar year crossed the 1.5 degrees Celsius threshold above pre-industrial temperatures. That's the line scientists and world leaders drew at Paris in 2015 as the critical danger boundary. In 2024 alone, records were broken for greenhouse gas concentrations, air temperatures, and sea surface temperatures, heat waves, wildfires, flooding. The data tells a consistent story. Human activity is accelerating the warming of our planet faster than earlier models predicted. For a long time, the argument against climate action was an economic one. It costs too much. That argument is now officially dead. A 2024 study in Nature found that climate damage costs by 2050 will be 6 times larger than the cost of actually reducing carbon emissions. 6 times. A separate landmark study from the National Bureau of Economic Research found that just a single degree of permanent global temperature rise could shrink world GDP per capita by over 20%, with some projections approaching 30%. Here's the bottom line. Limiting warming to 1.5 degrees instead of allowing it to reach 3 degrees could preserve 2/3 of the global economic losses from climate change. This is not charity, this is risk management at a civilizational scale. But behind every statistic is a person, a family, a community. Climate change is not distributing its costs equally. The people suffering most are those who did the least to cause it. In the year 2023 alone, more than 20 million people were displaced from their homes by sudden extreme weather events, and by 2050, that number could swell to over 216 million climate migrants, people forced to move within their own countries just to survive. The World Health Organization projects that by the 2030s, climate change will cause an additional 250,000 deaths every year from malaria, coastal flooding, and heat stress. Meanwhile, dengue fever hit a global record of over 10 million cases in 2024 alone, as warming temperatures expand the range of the mosquitoes that carry it. Those bearing the heaviest burden are children, women, ethnic minorities, low-income communities, and people in developing nations, those who are least responsible for emissions and least equipped to adapt. So what do we do? The answer is everything, and by everyone. Climate action cannot be delegated to a single government or a single generation. It must happen simultaneously at the global, national, corporate, community, and individual level. Governments must lead through bold policy, carbon pricing, renewable energy investment, and international cooperation. Adapting developing nations to climate change alone will require $310 billion per year by 2035. Only public institutions can mobilize that scale of financing. Corporations must transform. The good news, in 2024, 91% of new renewable energy capacity was already cheaper than the cheapest fossil fuel alternative. Clean energy is now not just the right choice, it's the smart business choice. Communities and cities are where climate impacts are most directly felt and where innovation is happening fastest. From urban forests to flood-resilient infrastructure, local solutions are saving lives right now. And individuals, we are voters, consumers, parents, and citizens. The culture of sustainability, the expectation that it is normal and necessary, begins with how we live, what we demand, and who we elect. It can be easy to feel overwhelmed, but here is the truth. Every fraction of a degree we hold back matters. Every forest preserved, every coal plant retired early, every electric vehicle on the road, it compounds, just as the damage from inaction compounds. The rationale for climate action is not complicated. The costs of inaction are enormous and measurable. The tools for action exist and are becoming cheaper every year. What has been in short supply is urgency, coordination, and political courage. That is what all of us, at every level, are being asked to provide. The planet is not waiting, and neither should we.